Hey Clinkers, this is Doogie.
This is Ia,
and you're listening to Girrrrl Cheers.
Girrrl Cheers is about sharing our experiences as Hmong female millennials and building relationships among the larger community.
In this episode, we are multiplying this duo by 2. Joining us today are the rest of the squad, Dee Dee Yang and Crystal Yang. We will be talking about friends, friendships, and finding long-lasting friends. So grab your besties, your favorite drink, and tune in.
Every episode, we will be enjoying a brand of alcohol and give you our thoughts. We love the company of a good glass. This is the perfect time for you to go grab a cold one and drink responsibly with us. Hey Clinkers, and we're back with another episode of Girrrrl Cheers. Right now we're having a pomelo. So this is a very, very simple recipe. This is just squirt and 2 shots of Jose Cuervo tequila. So it's very adjustable. And because this is such a basic recipe, you can actually add some other condiments such as lime. Oh, I did add lime in here. Mint. I do have it here. You can actually make this like a grapefruit version of it. So, my ladies, how y'all think? I mean, Doogie, what are you thinking about this pomelo? You like it? Just listen to her.
Yep.
Wow.
It's really refreshing. It has a really nice balance of sweet and sour. It does leave the aftertaste. I think it's from the lime you're using. What are you having, Dee Dee? Because you are not here in person with us. You are in Marysville, meeting us on Google Meet.
I am having a good old Trulies from Safeway. Nothing special, but I would love to try that pomelo drink. So please make it for me one of these days.
Of course. And I know that pomelo is a very popular drink in Mexico. Yeah. So if you go down to Mexico, ask for a pomelo.
And they know how to make it for
They
you.
They sure do know. So in today's podcast episode, it's all about friends, friendship, 朋友. And of course, if we're going to have friends, we are going to have our friend here. Her name is Dee Dee Yang.
Very special soul to us.
She very much is. Unfortunately, we do have another friend who cannot make it here today. Her name is Crystal Yang. We love you and we miss you, and we hope that in the future episode you will also join us too. Let's start with.
Hold up, we got cheers to Dee Dee.
Girrrrl.
Aww.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, so thank you, Dee Dee, for joining us today and making time for us. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I mean, I'm so proud of you guys for, this podcast, and I'm really glad that I get to be a part of this. So yeah, I'm Dee Dee Yang. I am one of the friends. I work as a tech designer for a clothing company in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So I currently live in Marysville, but then I work in San Francisco. So it's going to be interesting dynamic of commuting and working from home and living with family.
So that's a little catch up about Dee Dee and what she's doing. I think before we get started to maybe catching up with us, hey, well, let's all play this awesome game that I found. Actually, I heard about this game a while back, but I just never really explored. And if you guys are, like the listeners, if you guys are like literate in Hmong, this is a perfect drinking Hmong game. And you might have heard it too. It's called Mug. So what that means is like basically you get penalized. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna play it, and maybe I'm gonna just sporadically sprinkle these card game throughout the whole podcast, okay? And if you guys are listening, join us too. Don't go hiding away. You better drink up if it applies to you. So here's the first one. It says "야게," which means if then. If you go raves, then take 3 sips.
OMG. Are you serious?
Wait, what was it?
First one?
Yes. I'm laughing hard because I already know who is drinking already.
I mean, Dee Dee, do you go to raves?
Oh, no, I don't.
Doogie will take 3 sips of that.
Alrighty. Okay. So how are you doing, Doogie? How are you doing these days? What did you do?
Well, I am still unemployed. I'm still searching for work. I moved into a new apartment. It's really small, but it's a really comfortable. And when you're asking what's up with me, I've been helping other people.
That's a very important role too, though. That's helpful for her.
Oh, thank you, y'all. And then the next part now is Doogie will look for a job.
All right. So for me, I won't say I'm fully unemployed because I am still caring for my dad. And this past Thursday, I took him to do a procedure. I gotta wake up at 4:30 a.m. He got there like at 5:30. And we waited for 1 hour. Finally got him into the room to get prepared for pre-operation, pre-surgery. Took us another 30 to an hour, and finally he's in. I went and knocked out in my car for an hour and 30 minutes, and he was done. And so it's a successful procedure. And what I'm doing now is I'm just really trying to focus on my healing process. I noticed that I still have grief after I quit my job, and I'm still figuring out, where does that stem from? And I'm starting to figure out things about myself. I'm doing a lot of yoga and meditation to move forward in this healing process so that I can move on because girl gotta move on. Girl gotta get money. Girl gotta move out.
Mm-hmm.
Girl got a fiance. So, but I had to remind myself every day, if I need my time, I can slow down. And
you know what? That's okay too. If you take the time for yourself, because your whole life you're going to be focusing on other people. So if you can take a moment for yourself, self-care, I think that's important.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm so inspired by you guys to do some sort of self-care for myself. So now you guys got me thinking, like, what can I do for myself? I don't know.
Didn't you just recently moved to Marysville too? Like just last month?
Oh, yeah. So I lived in Walnut Creek for like 2 years, and then just 2 weeks ago, I think beginning of September, yeah, I moved back in with my in-laws because my husband got a job in Sacramento. So for the both of us, it just made sense to move closer to home.
Mm-hmm. How are you balancing this lifestyle? Because I think it's your first time living with your in-laws, and it's been about a month or so now. You gotta fill us in on the details.
Yes. Yeah. Well, me and King got married like 3 years ago, and we kind of like learned a lot about ourselves as wife and husband.
Sorry.
We can't believe it's been 3 years.
Flabbergasted because it's been 3 years and you're calling King husband, and we're like, wait, husband is king.
It's been a long time.
Dee Dee is the only friend out of all of us that's been married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting there though. But go ahead, Dee Dee.
Almost there. Yeah, but like it's always just been me and King, and then for the past 2 weeks, like, we moved in with his brother and his little family. So like it's kind of like a very different circumstance. But the good thing is that I'm slowly getting used to it, and we're not living with my mother-in-law and father-in-law yet, which I understand that like for Yang and you living with your parents, it's a little bit different. So I kind of eased my way in by living with the brother and his wife and their kids. So I'm kind of testing the waters, living with others. But it's okay. It's not as bad as people say it is. And I actually love the family. So if I could say one thing about married life is that you have to love your husband's family. That's the best way for you to have, like a good relationship.
This might be an appropriate time to do mug. Yeah.
Okay, that's something Ian and I do a lot, is finish each other's sentence or say things at the same time. And I just want to point out that whenever that happens, our audience has to drink up to that.
Yes.
Dee Dee, drink
All
up
right,
to
I'll
that.
drink up.
Okay.
I'll drink up to
like
that.
pretty dry now.
Cheers.
I need to go to my second cup. Here. Okay. Can I read this one?
Okay, we got another if then. If you know how to roll an egg roll or spring roll, then drink one sip. I do not know how to roll one.
I mean, I can. It may not be like the
That's what I'm
10K one, but
That's
I
what I'm
can.
saying.
Oh, but the question is that you know. So if you know, then that's the drink. It doesn't have to be
sip.
good.
Yeah.
Take one sip.
We all know how to roll a spring roll egg roll here, y'all. It may not be 10K quality though. I need a refill, so
We'll wait for you.
BRB. So I'm back from refilling my cup. All right. What I would like to know from you guys is, we have values in ourselves, but what is something that you guys value in a friend? And if you guys listeners are listening, like, think about your own friends. Like, if you have a friend, why are they still your friend? What value do they still have and have had that you guys are still pretty strong? I can kind of start first too, and you guys can kind of ponder on that question. I think to me, I reflected back on my friends all the way back to childhood. And I think one thing I really value is I value genuine people. What I mean by that is, I don't need you to fake laugh. If I'm crying and you feel like, oh shoot, I'm not in the position to help you say it, and I'll be fine. As long as you let me know, like, then I value that. I think I value just you being you, so that when you come to me, you're not wavering. And then one thing I think about too is empathy. And empathy is really draining, but that's another story. Anyways, I do value someone with empathy because I want to have a friend who I can put my head on their shoulder. I want to cry to them. I want to laugh. I want to bawl my eyes. And if that friend doesn't have the empathy to just at least try to understand, then that's going to be kind of difficult relationship. And then thirdly, I admire someone who has an adventurous or spontaneous spirit. I may not be adventurous with them and do some spontaneous stuff with them all the time, but their spirit, their energy, I suck their energy. Like, come to me. And then I need that energy. And once that I suck their energy, that it inspires me to become adventurous. And I can make my own energy. It doesn't have to be skydiving. I can go climb a mountain, you know? I can go and just river rafting. And that's adventurous to me. But your energy is a force of inspiration to me. So those are the three things that I really value in a relationship. Even though that we don't always meet, I would like to hear from you ladies too.
I absolutely agree with that. Like, especially the part where you were talking about being genuine. I think one of the things that I thought about was authenticity. Like, people who are not surface level friends. Like, you can reach each other to your core. Like, I can talk to you about my deep and personal things, and you guys can share that with me, and we're able to talk it through and still be okay with it. And like, it kind of like correlates with how I feel about my partner, like the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Like, there's got to be the trust, and there's got to be meaning in the friendship and the relationship. And yeah, what you said about like empathy, I think hearing each other, and not just like hearing each other and being able to like communicate with each other.
But I would like to piggyback on that. When you said that when you look for a friend, you're thinking about your partner, and I could totally relate to that because they are your friend for a lifetime. So of course, if you have some other friends, you will want similar value. So I really understand when you said that part.
I
But
do
you know what,
agree
though?
with
Oh,
everything Ia and Dee Dee has said so far, and then I want to add in two new words. Is
Ooh.
vulnerability. I think it's really important to be friends and be able to be vulnerable with each other, you know, with good things, bad things, hard times, happy things that are happening in our life. And then the next one is trust, you know, to really have trust that you can be vulnerable with this person and they will respect that, you know, not do anything evil with it. And if anything, just help uplift you. And that's what's really special.
So do let us know too, either in our Facebook page or in our Instagram. What do you value in a friend or in a friendship? Do you relate to any one of us? Okay, before we move on, all right, let's do mug. Yeah. All right. Didi, I wish you were here to tap on this. It says Gasu Dachi.
would you rather?
Yes. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, this is really awesome for like the spooky season. Would you rather fall at a funeral or whistle at night? It says losing sight takes two. So I think it's awesome. You have 3-person here, and then we can choose.
I would rather. Oh, you guys go first.
I'd rather whistle, girl. Whistle, baby.
Really?
Whistle, baby.
I would rather probably, I don't know, like, I guess trip at a funeral, just because I've always associated like the whistling part ever since I was little, and that's always just scared me. But falling at the funeral, I actually didn't even know that was a thing. So
Oh,
that would
come
be my vote.
Okay, I would rather whistle. And the reason is that falling at a funeral is scary because when you fall at a funeral, it means that go
Oh, please. They gotta bring a freaking chicken.
You
rice.
left your spirit at the funeral, and then that person who is at the funeral can take your spirit with them. And so they gotta come and hooplee if you do fall.
Hmong
See,
101.
now I know.
Drink up, Dee Dee.
This is
Now
you.
I know. Cheers.
See, the thing with whistle is that
What's the story with the whistle?
I cannot whistle. So
That doesn't count.
I'd rather do the whistle at night.
I just know it's a taboo to whistle at night, but I forget what the reason was.
There's a lot of taboo that you can do at night, like cutting your hair, singing.
I don't really know why also, but I just, like, when I was like a kid, my mom would just say, don't do that because then somebody will whistle right back at you. And that's always just scared
That's
me.
why. That's what they say about haikutia as well at night. Because you haikutia at night, and they're gonna come and take you as well. So much superstition in our culture.
Yeah. Beach is a taboo, but if you the kashia, don't do it. Anyways, back to our little program here. How did we even know each other? Oh, that's gonna be a fun story.
That's not an evil laugh.
That sounds like an evil laugh.
Yeah, that's so funny because, like, actually, the first person that I met of the group was Doogie because I was assigned her as a big sib. But you know what? To be honest, my first impression of Doogie was that Doogie is very eccentric. And if you guys know me, I'm like completely opposite.
Yeah.
Like, so quiet, so mellow. And here Doogie is like just always doing the most and doing the extra. And like, and this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. And like my social level is down here and Doogie's social level is up here. So I always had to like try. But you know, I noticed that we actually didn't get really close until design. Like we were in the design department together. and we did so many like projects and classes together that we got really close. Like all those like late nights doing like last minute work, staying up and no sleep at all. And I feel like we really got to open up through there. And then with Ia, we didn't hang out for like the first, I don't know, like my first 3 years. But I did remember the very first time I saw you was when I think it was like an introduction thing at like a HCU meeting, and you really made an impression on me because you were so vocal and you were articulate. So I think there was a point where I was like, oh my gosh, this girl knows what she's talking about. Like, you were very Hmong, right? You were so knowledgeable of like just the culture and like all of the little things, and like I was just so fascinated by you. And then it wasn't until Duji started hanging out with like everybody that's when I got to see the real you, like the personal you. And you're like completely opposite from my first vision of you too, because you were so like professional and mature. But then like when we started drinking together, you were just like the crazy party girl. And I was like, okay, she has two sides of her too. And then same with Crystal. Crystal's, I think I met her when she was a freshman, and I was I don't know what it was called, like a group mentor for HCU program. And Crystal was always asking questions, very bubbly. Like she wasn't shy. Like she'll say what's on her mind, and it really stood out. Like you three were the people from HSU that like made an impression on me, and then somehow we're still hanging out. So I guess we're all compatible with each other.
Yes.
And it's good that you use that word compatible, because we'll get to that part. Like after all these years from college, like okay, how many years was that?
I think it's been like almost 10 years.
College? No, that's like
don't remind me.
That's just from high school.
Dee Dee said, "Don't remind her."
I'm older than you guys.
This year is 2002.
This year is the 10-year mark for high school for us.
But then I graduated in 2017, so that means 5 years.
Oh, it's only been 5 years?
Yeah, but it seems like forever.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And for you, Dee Dee, probably like 6 years.
Just a year more. I graduated 2016.
So I think we'll get to that later. Like how in the 6 years that after graduation, after college, how are we still friends, and how do we still like when we come together, how are we still laughing and connecting as if we were still back in college? We'll get there. But this is a perfect time for the mug.
Yeah. Yes.
Dee Dee's getting it. Go ahead.
I got it.
Oh, this is you, girl. This is all you. This is all you.
Read it.
This is Good Tia Hmong folk song. You, there it says you. I have to do it. You and the person to your right see who can. Ni Ye the longest. Loser drinks 9 sips.
Shoot.
Dee Dee, you're to my left.
I know, so it's you two.
Me? Reminds me of what is your best guccia? So this is our longest Ni Ye. Okay.
Whoever can do the longest.
All right. Y'all try with us too, okay?
3, 2, 1.
Nia. I didn't even start.
You didn't even
There
start.
was no need for me to start. We already know Ia wins. Oh, did you say loser drink 9 sips?
Yeah.
Nope. Redo. I'm ready now.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'm not going to count down. I'm just going to say go. Okay, ready? Go.
Nia.
Do it. I can't do it. I didn't take a deep breath.
I mean, that's expected, right?
Okay,
You've been
I'm just gonna take,
practicing.
like 2 or 3 huge ass gulp.
Well, damn. But they really just know us mom people. Okay. Well, speaking of wanting to know more, in our conversation earlier, you said the word compatibility. And I said we're going to come back to that word. 6 years after college or so, why are we still friends? How are we compatible? What makes us still friends? Get a job, get a house, get money,
Get married.
get married, get legit, all that stuff. And you're just like, I'm still 18. You know?
I just turned 21.
Right? And how the heck are we still friends under all that pressure? And, you know, post-grad, we talked a little bit about post-grad in our first episode. I think a lot of people talked about college, but post-grad is where you really want to talk about, because you're not in an institution anymore.
I just want to point out that post-grad is not just college. It's also after high school. For those who did not pursue college, it's really hard for those who finished high school and did not go on to college. Post-grad for them is, if anything, even harder.
Thank you for bringing that, Aduchi. You know, society really just want us to get us somewhere and go shoo shoo. But we're not just shoo shoo. We're still like, who am I? After all of that, who am I discovery? Why are we still friends? Right? I think that speaks a lot when you are still friends with people after all of this questions about yourself. Who am I? What do I want to be? I want to be this, but you're still my friend. What does that say? You start to really value these relationships, especially after college, especially after high school if you didn't go to college.
Piggyback on that, like having fun. I think in college, we really get to explore like the crazy party drinking life. And that's where you get these moments where you can get real and vulnerable, especially when you're, you've had a few drinks in, or you're, like in this mode where you just want to tell all. So that's where you really get to know each other. And then like post college, post, grad or whatever, that's when, like, yeah, what you were saying is you're still trying to figure yourself out, but you always come back to these people that you just had these moments with. And they happen to be people, whether from high school or college, that you're just, so attached to. I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but at least for me, like after I was done with college, I was like, there are only like a handful of people that I can really connect with, and I can count them on my hands.
When you say compatibility, I really think it's because we have similar interests. And
what is that? I mean, I'm very curious.
Between me and Ia, we have similar interests and, really deep diving into the Hmong culture. For me and Dee Dee, it's like fashion, designing. For me and Crystal, I think it's just life experiences that we're both really open to.
Wow.
And then because we have these similarities, it's what make us so compatible. And then as we move on to different parts of our lives, we don't stay the same person. Honestly, a person changes in like 2 to 3 years so fast. I've seen you, I've seen Dee Dee, I've seen Crystal, I've seen myself change. And going through these changes, I really think it comes down to respecting and trusting that this person can change and still be the person I used to know.
I appreciate that because we all have very different personalities, very different lifestyle choices, and, career choices. But one of the things that grounds me with reality is that you guys are still like inspiring me and challenging me like all the time. It's like I'm at a constant pace in my life, right? Like I'm just working, I'm married now, like I'm not going up and down, but then you guys keep coming up like new things, new podcasts, new social media, like new, like new brands, brand itself. And it's just like, yeah, it really keeps you on your toes. And that's why I feel like even if we're very different, like we all have like the same sort of appreciation for the little things. Like
we all value all of that from each other. Starting with Crystal, just because she's not here, like she's always a very adventurous spirit. She does what her gut tells her, and she does it, and she doesn't listen to anybody. And then she makes that her truth, and it is truth. And I have valued so much
And
stuff
it's
from
not
her.
like it's a bad truth. She always have a really
Yeah,
rational
it's
reason
a
for
good
that
truth for her, and I feel like even if at some point I don't resonate with it, at some point in my life I resonate with it. I'm like, I think back to Crystal. 你打真那个 right? 我家也吐狗了呢 you know? And so that's why I call her up, right? And then Dee Dee, she's someone who is like really just steady, who kind of follows the flows. And I feel like she gives me some sort of security. And so I asked her in that sense, right? So I'm not always secure all the way, but when I do feel I'm secure, I'm like getting there, I call her up. I ask her. And then with Juji, and because, we got now. She's like freaking less than 5 minutes away from me. And you are someone who's like Dee Dee Haya, very eccentric. Someone who can also is very adaptable, who adapt to different situations, who can be very eccentric, who can be very professional, all sorts of that, who puts value in Hmong culture, and who puts value in fashion. Like, I feel like I can relate to you kind of all around. So I gravitate towards you a lot. And I gravitate towards Dee Dee a lot too, because she has a sense of, she knows a lot about fashion, but also because she's very down to earth. She's the person who I said earlier in the podcast about values, about genuine. She's a very genuine person. And so when I gravitate towards Doji, I gravitate towards Dee Dee. And then when I'm like, fudge, we're living our fullest life. Who's living their fullest life? Crystal. I'm like, where's Crystal? And so we are all like different ingredients to a recipe, honestly. And so I noticed that when we're missing one of us, the recipe is a little bit different.
It is a little off. A little. And we miss Crystal here tonight. We really do.
Yeah. Yeah, but what do you think, Didi? Can you add something on, like, how the heck are we still friends after so many years? And you, honestly, like, you being married, and then we're still quote-unquote single. I'm getting there, but you're kind of like the... I don't want to...
She's always the forever mom to us.
You are the forever mom. You're the wife. You have nyana duties. How do you even get friends? How do you even have time for friends?
I have a perspective that's a little bit different because I'm married. And I do think that the reason why you guys are all still my friends is because you guys are the only, like, non-family that is, like, no, seriously, like, besides family, you guys are the only other people that, like, I have a lot of fun with. And I don't...
Besides the family?
Yeah, I mean, like, I have a great time with my family, my husband's family, but, like, besides them, it's like, if I want to just, like, tune out of, like, family things, then it's like, okay, you guys are the ones that I'm going to call up. So I know I'm going to have a good time, and let's go hiking or travel, go somewhere,
Down for it.
We do that. We already do that.
We did the hiking.
I know.
Do you remember the fire trail? We did the fire trail, and all of y'all ran down that trail.
Did you remember also that we were all hungover?
Yeah, I know. And I was just like, you guys, my boyfriend is chunky. We can't do that.
Okay, sorry. Even our fiance Thomas right here too. He's laughing because he can't still remember.
Okay, I want to add one more thing to this. I think the reason we're also able to remain friends this time around is that we were willing to put each other on a priority list. There's a lot of things that goes on in our life. All of us work full-time jobs at some point, not anymore. But when we put it in a calendar, we put it as a priority list, and we put it as a commitment. Just because it's a priority doesn't mean it's a commitment. It's we really commit to showing up, and that's what makes this friendship possible. Because if any one of us committed to it at first and then backed out, I think that would have ruined our relationship from the very beginning after graduation. But because so many of us stayed committed to it and put it on a priority list, we were able to meet year after year. And even if it's not all the time, we were all very understandable of each other's situation.
I do want to add too is that we're successful also because even our partners were like hella chill with it. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, yeah. Our partners were down to get to know each other. Like, my fiance is now like, where the heck is King? I miss King, And so I think not just us becoming friends, but our partners are becoming friends. And I think that really helped propel our relationship forward. Like, wow, we're ready for the next level. Mm-hmm. Not just because our relationship, but the relationships of our partners are like,
they're you saying your kids are going to be friends with each other?
Yes. I was going to say, like, when your partners are friends with your friends, that's where you get like game nights in the future with your kids and your family. That's where you grow up together. I mean, your kids are going to grow up to be together.
Yeah, I visualize that too,
Okay, someone's ready to get married.
I'm ready. Yeah, I am ready to get married. I'm ready for that.
Yo, Crystal wants to join this call.
All right. Ah! Okay, sorry.
Omit that girl.
Girlfriend!
There she is.
Where have you been?
Oh, her connection's bad.
Sorry.
You drunk?
We miss you so much.
Speaking of the homegirl that is always out having the time of her life.
I can hear you guys. I'm sorry for joining so late.
Where you at, girlfriend?
Hi, guys. I have my drink. Like, as you requested, I have my drink. Ah! But I'm here. I'm so sorry for joining late. Like, whatever y'all gotta ask.
Okay, everybody, when I say girl, you guys say cheers, okay? Ready, Crystal?
Okay.
Girl!
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, I don't work today. I had school today. But I'm at an event with family and friends. But there's alcohol, so I'm logged in to check in on you guys. Sorry for the last minute. But yeah, no, I wanted to catch up with you guys as well. There's a lot that's been going on in my life, but I'm good. I'm really, really good. I'm happy.
So, Crystal, some of the things we've been talking about is how are we still friends after so many years? And we want to hear your side of the story now. How are you still friends with us after so many years?
I think I like to believe that we're in adulthood now, and so there's just that standard understanding that we have our own lives to live up to, and I think that respect is very well known and understood, so I think that's what makes it so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It just provides a fresh air of relaxation, and that you can be yourself, and that you don't have to hide a piece of yourself. And that comes with time. It doesn't happen overnight. Yes. And I think that's what's really special with our group of friendship is that we have known each other for so long, sober and the craziest.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really beautiful about this thing is that if you want that type of friendship, it comes with time. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen in high school. Or maybe you'll think that it'll happen in high school, but then you learn, and then you grow up, and then you change, and then you make new friends. And then you get busy. You get really busy with life and with your partner or single.
We have been playing this game called
My yeah.
Okay, so the question was, would I rather do a Hmong wedding or an American wedding?
Correct.
So because I'm already married, I get to answer first.
Sure.
So I would rather do a Hmong wedding just because I think it's more important to me that like my family get that traditional marriage, aspect done. I don't really care for a big extravagant wedding, and my partner doesn't really care for a big wedding. So I think we both agreed that like we would rather just do a Hmong wedding just for our family, and we'll have like a tiny, the it's not a reception, but like a celebration where our friends will come together. But that's about it. Like I don't really have the money for a big wedding anyway.
Okay, so for me, from what I have experienced, honestly, I think I would prefer a Mika wedding because I feel like growing up, I did not appreciate so much of Hmong wedding, but as I've gotten older, I would definitely appreciate a Hmong wedding. But I feel like a Hmong wedding is more like logistics. It's more of like listening to what you're supposed to know and lectures. And I've grown to love it, and I've grown to appreciate it. However, for the celebration of me and my possible future spouse one day, to celebrate just the two of us, which is so important to me, I would prefer a Mika wedding. Maybe I think my ideal is to elope in my Hmong clothes.
I'll
I
help
think that's
you.
what I want. I think I need to elope in my Hmong clothes. I think that would make me feel so happy and fulfilled.
You should. Do you freaking climbed up to the mountain of Lake Tahoe and wear Hmong clothes and took pictures
With us.
Thanks to Ian, did you?
Yeah, you want to go
Thanks
next?
to you guys. You guys made that possible.
Oh, I do both. I do one, a traditional one for my family, and I honestly I do want to witness it too. I do want to go through the rites of passage. I want my future husband to go through it too.
Yeah.
She saw, but knew okay, like to remind you, like wow, you had to work this hard to make this union happen too. So when you are in a union, you had to work that hard too.
Ladies, as for me, I think it really depends on the guy I am going to marry. At this point in my life, I'm dating a Hmong guy, so I think I'm gonna have a Hmong wedding. But if I wasn't gonna marry a Hmong guy, then I think I would have an American wedding. It's really up to who I'm dating, so I choose Hmong wedding. Yeah,
Like,
you can't
like,
be in
share your
between. You
opinion,
gotta pick one or the or another.
Oh shoot, okay.
Hmong wedding or American wedding.
Hmong
Period.
wedding.
Crystal, drink up. But I just want to say that this is the end of our podcast. I do want to give this time for our very two special friends to drop their handles so that our followers can go look for them if they want to be friends with y'all or even follow you guys.
I don't have a Facebook, so Crystal for Instagram, it's Crystal Crystal, the letter M as in mommy, and then Yang Yang. Full name, probably not the smartest, but that's how you'll find me, Crystal M Yang.
Facebook is just my first
That's
last name, DeeDeeyang. Instagram is my first and last name, but then my last name is spelled Yaaha. So it's Deeyayaj.
Thank you so much to both Crystal and Dee Dee for joining us tonight. It's so special whenever we four get together.
For sure.
And just you both have a great night. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I would have loved to do this in person. I think it would.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah, same. It would have been so nice to do it in person. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Girrrrl Cheers. Thank you for sticking with us until the end of the episode. We hope that we made your day happier than it previously was and you came out of it learning something new.
Unless it's a holiday and everyone should be taking all of their breaks as needed, please join us again the following week at the same time, Pacific Standard Time, for the next episode.
For more information and updates on Girrrl, cheers, please follow our social media pages on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, all by the name of Girrrl, cheers.
Or if you would like to become friends with Doogie and I, find us on our Instagram handle at iamarialo and at DoogieChain.
Join us in the next episode. We'll be talking about relationships in our 20s, what kind of partners millennial women like us are looking for, communications over the years, and transitioning into our 30s with our partners.